Hello and welcome to the Daily Fantasy 5 for this Friday, July 26th. It's episode 156, and we are bringing you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. I'm your host, Scott Grierson, and we got some great NFL topics today, all NFL. Sterling Shepard, Ezekiel Elliott. We're talking Melvin Gordon and all of the ramifications of the news with him today. Allen Hurns going to the Miami Dolphins. So a lot to get to. Man, it's pretty exciting with training camps opening. There's a lot more news to talk about. It's more like we are seeing which 5 topics we're going to talk about rather than, how we're going to make 5 topics. So exciting times. Let's get to all the NFL stuff here in just a moment after a word from our sponsor, www.mathradio.com, where you can go pick up an online math course for as little as $9.99 to help your kids ages 7 through 17, get better grades in school, score higher on exams, and even get into college. For as little as $9.99, you'll get a lifetime membership to one of their courses where you can see your kids' confidence in math raise like a rocket to the sky. All right. Anyway, go to mathradio.com. Help out your kids. Mathradio.com. All right. Let's see. What do we have today? Let's start in New York with Sterling Shepard. So apparently he was reaching for a low pass, and he broke his finger. I don't know if he hit his finger into the ground. I didn't see a video on it. But he's definitely got a broken finger, which is not good for a wide receiver. They're saying he might be ready for week 1. But Sterling Shepard was kind of a low-end guy at this point. I'm not sure a lot of people had faith in Sterling Shepard. If he was in your plans, I don't know that this would take him out of your plans, but I'm certainly it's not something that's going to make me want to jump up and grab Sterling Shepard. He wasn't a guy I was drafting very much. I don't think I own any of him in best ball. So just be aware that he probably is going to miss all of training camp, might be ready for week 1. So our first waiver wire guy injury list is ready to go. Let's move on to the Cowboys. So apparently Zeke is not on the plane to training camp. There has been no report this morning that he showed up or did not show up. Let me just check while we speak. I wrote out all my notes, and I did not check in the last half hour to see if Zeke is on the plane. No, same story. No word yet if Ezekiel Elliott is going to be at camp today or not. I'm kind of doubting it. I don't think Zeke really needs to be at camp one way or the other. I'm still not that worried about Zeke. Right now, I still have him at number 4 on my list. I'm not going to move him behind David Johnson yet, but it's getting closer and closer. All right, every day that goes by, I think there's some kind of deadline where he actually starts to lose money, like August 3rd or something like that. And if he's not in camp by that point, you can go ahead and get worried. But right now, we're going to keep him at number 4, just behind the other big name guys, Kamara, McCaffrey, and Saquon Barkley. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about the big story, San Diego Chargers. So apparently, it seems like either the Gordon's camp made an offer and then the Chargers countered. But anyway, they both made offers to each other to try to resolve this contract situation. Neither party would accept the other party's offers. There is no resolution. And now sources, whoever the sources are worried that this holdout is going to go on into the season. So this is not great news about Melvin Gordon. Personally, it doesn't scare me off. I kind of like it. I think it's an opportunity to buy low on Melvin Gordon because at this point, you can kind of get Melvin Gordon around the end of the second round, mid to late second round. If I have that option, like the other day I picked up, who did I pick up? David Johnson at number 5. And then I grabbed Melvin Gordon at number 19. I think that's great value because I think Melvin Gordon is a top 6 player if he is healthy and not in a contract dispute. I like him better than the number 1's wide receivers. So I would have him probably number 5 or number 6. I'm not sure if I'd have him in front of Johnson right now, but if he was at camp. So if you can get 2 top 5 players with your draft. So if you have like the numbers 1 through 5, right? And you can get 2 guys in the top 5, top 6 of the draft using a first and second round pick, that can win you your league right away. Now, let's say he misses the first, 4, 5, 6 games of the season. Well, at least he comes back and he has fresh legs for the end of the season and the playoff run. Okay, we can roster him. We can still hang in there until he comes back. And if he sits out all season long, if he is Le'Veon Bell 2.0, well, fine. We should be good enough at fantasy and be good enough to work the waiver wires where we don't worry about it. Okay, we can go ahead and make things happen. Now, in best ball, where you can't make waiver moves, Melvin Gordon is more risky. So, in that format, I don't know if I would pull the trigger again, because if he doesn't play, you're just out of luck, right? He just doesn't help your team at all, and that is absolutely crushing. So while you do like to take risk, I don't know, that's a lot of risk to take if I can't, because in best ball, you don't get that player plus his replacement, right? That's how you have to kind of look at things in a normal fantasy league, where you don't just have that player. So someone that's injury prone or is in a lockout situation, you get Melvin Gordon plus whatever replacement running back you can pick up off the waiver wire during those weeks where he's not playing. Right. In best ball, you don't get that. You only get Melvin Gordon. There is no replacement level player. So that hurts a little bit. So we'll have to think about that a little bit more. But let's talk about how this affects some other guys. Austin Eckler, he has an ADP of 36 right now on ESPN, 108 overall. I like him ahead of a few running backs that are going before him on ESPN. Sony Michel, I've dropped Sony Michel like crazy. I think the rookie out of Alabama is going to play ahead of him. If he misses any time at all, I think the rookie is going to be great for Belichick. I think he is exactly the kind of player that Belichick likes. He just goes out there and does his job and doesn't do anything more or less. So I think if he gets a chance, he will win this job. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Sony's like the goal line back, and that's about it once he comes back from injury. But man, that knee is scary. This is 2 seasons in a row where he's had a surgery right before the season, right? And he's not ready to go. So it makes me worried. So I'm dropping him way down the list. People still have him as a top, like taking him in the 5th round. No, thank you. Drake from Miami, man. Now a report came out either today or yesterday that he is now in a battle with what's his name? It starts with a B. Bellagio or something like that for reps to be the starter. So Kenyon Drake isn't even going to be the starter anymore in Miami. Are you I don't know. I thought he was a pretty good player, but if he is not guaranteed to start and he's in a 50-50 timeshare, yeah, I want Austin Eckler ahead of him. Darius Guice, man, he was in my top 20. I love this guy, but the injuries, he's out for me. Miles Sanders, I like Miles Sanders, but if Gordon's going to be out, I like Austin Eckler more, because even if Gordon's in there, Eckler can still be valuable, right? He's still the guy that's going to be out there in third downs, catching passes, and doing all that fun stuff. Shady McCoy, no thank you. Howard, he was from the Bears, now he's playing for the Eagles. I think he starts and is unproductive. So I think earlier I mentioned Sanders. I think Sanders takes over for him eventually, but I think they will each hurt each other's value. And that's why I see Austin Eckler jumping in here. He'll have an extended role if Gordon isn't there. And even if Gordon comes back, Eckler's still going to have a nice role in this team. So I don't mind taking Eckler a little bit earlier around RB 30. All right, so the other guy this affects is Jackson. He was a rookie last year. Didn't do much. From weeks 12 to 15, he had 7 or more carries every week, but he only had 2 games where he had double-digit fantasy points, 2 games where he had 14 points. So it wasn't even like he scored 20 or something huge. He can catch the ball a little bit. I would say he's worth a last-round pick. If you're looking for a running back flyer, not the worst option in the world. He could, I don't know if he'll split time with Eckler, but I'd probably see so let's just say that Gordon was not playing the first 4 weeks. I think, Eckler would probably get 65, 70% of the touches, and then Jackson would get, the rest. It seems about right to me. And then if something happens to Eckler, Jackson would get a ton of work. So it seems worth the risk on a offense that should be outstanding in San Diego. Let's see. What else do we have today? Oh, so this is a strange one. So Allen Hurns, wide receiver, originally from Jacksonville, then he was with the Cowboys, was cut from the Cowboys this week. And then today he was picked up by the Miami Dolphins. So if you probably remember back in 2015, Allen Hurns was a stud. He had 64 catches for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Now, he has been garbage ever since then. In the last 3 years, he's played 37 games and only had 7 touchdowns. That's like 2.5 touchdowns a year. That's not very good. No, not very good at all. So what in the world is going on with Allen Hurns? I could see if this happened like week 3 of training camp, where they say, you know what, or not week 3 of the offseason, where they say, you know what, Allen, you're not going to be our third wide receiver. So we're going to go ahead and let you go. You can get on with another team because we're going to start the young guys. Okay, I get it. But they don't even give him a chance to win that job. So they must have seen something in training camp that they don't like. Miami's taking a risk here. I guess the deal is not guaranteed. It's worth up to $1 million, but there's no guarantee he even makes the team. So who does Allen Hurns have to beat out? I don't think he's beating out Kenny Stills or Parker for one of those first 2 jobs. But the competition for the number 3 wide receiver is Albert Wilson and Jakeem Grant. I mean, there's not much there. But even if Allen Hurns does make the team and is the number 3 wide receiver, I don't know what kind of value there is in Miami. If Fitzpatrick were guaranteed to be the starter and I knew that Allen Hurns was the number 3 wide receiver, maybe I'd take a flyer in a deep league, a huge league or with deep rosters. He might fall in there in a late round pick. But I mean, wouldn't you rather have Kenny Stills or Parker before him? And I mean, Parker's going like 150 in ADP. So I mean, we're getting pretty late in the day to be drafting Allen Hurns. Maybe in preseason he'll look like a world beater, but I just don't see why the Cowboys would let him go before even having a position battle. And then, I mean, why wouldn't they let him battle it out with the other guys? There must be some reason, I suppose. But it doesn't bode well, in my opinion. Okay, so that's all we have today for the Daily Fantasy 5. Hope you enjoyed our football-centric show. We will be back tomorrow with the Saturday edition where we're going to be bringing you – what do we have tomorrow? Just the normal news stuff. I'm sorry. We're going to do the mock draft Sunday as well. And then next week we'll have our top 100. Hopefully we'll have Chris on the show to discuss that as well. Okay. Please visit our sponsor, www.mathradio.com. If you're listening to the show on a podcast, we'd appreciate a review and a rating. That would be awesome. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment below. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.